back to my channel, and today I'm going to be talking about something that is quite personal, and I know that for many people that know me, they know that I'm an open book to a certain extent. However, a while back I received this question, and it kind of got me to doing a lot of introspection, and it's something that I had dealt with within myself, but just someone else asking me how that was for me was, is a bit interesting. So the question that I was asked was, how did the death of my children change my faith or my relationship with God, to be exact? And my response was that actually it didn't, because whenever a loss happens, a lot of times you are looking for something or someone to blame. And for me, one thing that I never got myself to doing was to actually question God as to like why this, why that. Actually, I was more questioning along along the path of science, that how did this happen and that kind of a thing, but not within my faith to kind of blame God that you are the giver, you are the creator, but then at the same time you take back. And I think the reason why I never got to be in that space is because my faith is what keeps me going. I know my name is Faith. How ironic. My faith is what keeps me going, and in tough times the only thing that makes sense to me is to pray. And I know that for some people it's different, they deal with things differently. However, for me it was one of those things where I was like, I can't allow this to change how I view my faith, how I believe or rather what I believe in as an individual, because I think it would have derailed me during my grieving process. I don't think that things would have gone as smooth as they did. Well, smooth is probably not a good word to use, but I don't think that things would have gone the way that they did. So to answer that question, the death of my children did not change my relationship with God in a negative way. However, I think it changed it for the better. My experience within believing, I think, as I say, that my faith was tested. And faith means believing in something that you have not seen. And I was believing that one day things will be different. I was believing that one day God will come through for me. There's a reason why I was named Faith, and I needed to how can I put this? I needed to find comfort within my name. So many people, they say, everything happens for a reason, but for me this was an experience in season for me to come back to the root of it all, and which is my faith. And most nights I would cry myself to sleep, when I was grieving. I'm still grieving. It's not something that one gets over just overnight. And one thing that I always prayed for was that God, please give me the wisdom and give me the strength to navigate this journey. There's a reason why you put me in this journey. However, I need your guidance. I need your wisdom. I have ideas of how I want to navigate this path. However, you have a greater reason of why this has happened to me, why this has happened to me and my husband, and why this is happening within my marriage. Because keep in mind that we lost our first child literally in the first year of us getting married, and for many people that is a make or break, but we managed to stick it out. We managed to hold each other's hands, and the one thing that kept us going was our belief in God, and believing and trusting that it will get better. It doesn't matter how painful the journey might be. So the pain might be crippling, but the testimony will be greater. And that is a motto that I lived along my journey of grieving, that the pain might be crippling right now, but the testimony will be greater. And one day when you share that testimony, if you're sitting and watching this video right now and you're going through something in your life, or you have been through something in your life that didn't make sense, and you questioned God's existence, I think it's time that you kind of make peace with what has happened to you, what is happening to you, and see it as a stepping stone, that the testimony will be greater in due time. The testimony will be greater in God's time, in whoever you believe in. the testimony will be greater. So when that time comes for you, we will be here waiting to hear your testimony. And it took me a while to be able to sit down and actually speak about the death of our children and not be emotional and not cry, because many people think, oh, okay, so if you're not crying, everything is okay, you have gotten over everything, life is great. No, life is not great, but you just find ways of coping with what is happening in your life, what has happened to you, and what is still to come. So that is how my journey has been within my faith after losing my two beautiful children. It is pregnancies that I'll never forget. So I still believe in God, I still pray, and I'm still grateful, and I am grateful that I actually get this opportunity to be able to share with you guys how my relationship with him has been over the past 4 years, more or less, so to say. So thank you so much for watching. Do subscribe, share, engage with me in the comments, and let's talk about this, you know, how our faith gets tested with the most heartbreaking of situations and circumstances within our lives, and how we navigate that as people. See you next time.